Hi everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at the polling data in the upcoming states that will vote in the upcoming Democratic presidential primaries. So we have quite a few states. Let me just very quickly move this away because the sun's in my eyes. Okay, so in terms of the different states that will be voting, we've got Michigan that will be voting. Missouri is also going to be voting. The state of Mississippi will be voting. Washington will be voting, along with North Dakota as well and Idaho. But we do not have polling data in both of those locations. Both of those are likely to be a Sanders state. However, we're still not sure about what's going to happen in that case. Okay, so just moving back through, we're going to not make predictions, just taking a look at the polling. And the thing is key. In all of these states, there has been a Biden surge in the past week. Take a look at this in Michigan. Take a look at this in Missouri. There's also been a bit of a Sanders surge in Missouri. Take a look in, this is in Mississippi. We have not had a poll since 2019, so we can't really make accurate predictions on that. Washington, again, a Biden surge. There you go, a Biden surge in Washington. Sanders is still very close to Biden, just 3 points behind Biden in Washington. But I mean, Washington is a state. I mean, really, if we're being honest, Sanders should do very well in the state of Washington. If we take a look at the recent polling data that we've been getting, added yesterday, we have data for Progress says Biden is +3, and Survey USA says Biden is +1. Sanders needs really a thumping win here in Washington to be able to actually continue in this race. It's going to be interesting to see what this next debate does. At this point, those will be on March 10, so that's also going to be very interesting. But what's also interesting, if you just take a look at the presidential debate schedule, the first presidential debate is in none other than South Bend, Indiana, and the vice presidential debate in Salt Lake City, second presidential debate in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and the third presidential debate in Nashville, Tennessee. And it's going to be interesting to see how all of these different candidates do. But just taking a look at the polling again, it's clear there has been a Biden surge. Now, we don't have all that many polling, so we can't really say that. There's a new poll out from Michigan that has Biden +7. This is a disaster for Bernie Sanders. He needs to win Michigan. If he doesn't, if he doesn't at least come within 3%, I think Biden's pretty much finished off Bernie in Michigan. But it's going to be interesting. Bernie has to win Michigan. He also, I wouldn't say he has to win Missouri. There's a new poll out here, Biden +4. This is more reputable, A- compared to C-. But I think Bernie has to come within 5-7% of Biden in Missouri. He's not going to win Mississippi, and he must win Washington. I think Mississippi is just gone for Sanders, but I think Biden is competitive in all 4 of these states, and including the 2 wild cards here, Idaho and North Dakota. North Dakota went to Sanders in 2016, and Idaho also went to Sanders in 2016. However, Idaho has moved from a caucus to a primary, which does not benefit the Vermont senator. And North Dakota, it's really hard to know with these two because they're both kind of sort of working class politicians. Can I say that? Not that they're like working classes and their incomes are working class, but like I think their message can appeal to working class voters in a way that someone like an Elizabeth Warren or a Pete Buttigieg might not be able to do. So that's also going to be interesting. Yeah, but the Republicans are canceling their ones in Alaska, Arizona, Hawaii, Kansas, Nevada, South Carolina, Virginia. So that's interesting, but yeah, that's pretty much the end of this video. I just wanted to recap the polls. Michigan, this is a must for Sanders. Missouri, it's a must to be in 7 points with Biden for Sanders. Mississippi, Sanders isn't going to win. And Washington is a must win for Sanders. He must win by at least 10 or so percent in order to actually get some momentum going here. Because you can see he did have, he was leading in early 2020 when he had momentum, and then boom, after Super Tuesday, it just evaporates just like that. It can evaporate very quickly. And what's interesting here, Sanders was at 21, right? Now he's at 35 and at 44, right? However, so he has grown his support, but Biden has grown it by much more. He's gone from 10 to 36 and 47, which is very impressive for the former vice president. But so Washington is a must for Sanders. Mississippi is a must for Biden, but he's going to get that anyway. Missouri is a must within 7 for Sanders, and Michigan is a must for Sanders in terms of winning. But in terms of here, the 538 forecast, if you actually go into the forecast itself, we'll just wait for that to load. There we go. Just take a look at this. Look at how after Super Tuesday, this is Super Tuesday, Biden's odds just go kaboom. He goes from here all the way up to about a 90% chance to win more than half on the first ballot. And then no one is at 9%. That has also plummeted. And Sanders' odds have also plummeted. Now, Sanders is starting to stable out a bit, but and then no one else is in the race except for Gabbard. But right now, in terms of forecasted outcomes, Biden at 2303, Sanders at 1472, and Gabbard at 39. But if you actually take a look, within the 80% of range, Sanders on the very highest estimate versus Biden on the very lowest estimate he has. The very lowest estimate for Biden is just getting right on 50%, and even then Biden is leading. So 80% of the outcomes fall in this range. So 80% of the time they forecast this, it's going to be like that. And worst case scenario for Sanders is he's really down there, and then Biden's just absolutely just running away with it. But Michigan, they're saying Biden, the favorite in Michigan, that's just terrible for Sanders. He needs to go big or go home in Michigan. In Washington, Sanders is the favorite narrowly in Washington, but only just barely. This is really 50-50. In Missouri, going through in Missouri, you can see here Biden has surged in recent days. Moving through in Mississippi, Biden's going to run away with that. In Idaho, they're saying Sanders will win, but I mean really 50-50. It's hard to say because it's so close. And then they're saying Sanders 3.5, 3.0, 3.5, 3.0. So there you go. And then North Dakota, they're saying Biden's the favorite. That's not good at all for Sanders. Democrats abroad, okay, Sanders might win Democrats abroad. Northern Mariana, and then you can keep going through. That's on a different day, but Sanders needs to go big or go home at this next debate. He needs to move very quickly into turning this race on its head. And then if you take a look at the chance of winning a plurality, Sanders drops even more and Biden surges even more drastically. And I haven't looked at the betting odds, but I'm sure that if you did look at the betting odds, it would be, so I haven't looked at this, but if you did look at the betting odds, you can see the Biden surge and the Sanders collapse. But and that's even more drastic if you pull it out like that, when you can see Joe Biden just absolutely cruising, and then Sanders is collapsing, right? And Sanders supporters on this channel might not like the fact, but that's the fact of the matter at this point, is that Joe Biden is the overwhelming favorite to be the Democratic nominee at this point. But Sanders, he needs to win Michigan. He needs to win Washington. And he needs to win them by big margins to net some delegates on Biden to be able to flip this race on its head and turn this thing around. So there has been a change of strategy from the Sanders campaign. They're trying to broaden their coalition. There's 3 new ads out. One is talking about how he's friends with Obama and how Obama said nice things about him. One is about the trade deals and how Biden has voted for these disastrous trade deals. And the third one, that's right, it's Biden's Social Security, how he wanted to cut Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. But 3 new ads out. It's going to be interesting to see how it does. But that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. And thank you for watching, and good night. Thank you.